things in the market or in the industry, if you will, is the SPIE, or the Society for the International Society for Optics and Photonics. They have started a benchmarking program for lidar for different companies to come together, because there is no standard for measuring lidar. And they have a bunch of companies come together, and they're doing some comparative testing. And they asked Labsphere, because we're the kind of the de facto supplier of targets, or lidar targets for that market. They came to us and asked us if we would be involved. So we actually we donated 37 of our Permaflect targets, which you can see in the booth here. And we also donated some people to set up those targets. And a few months ago in Orlando, Florida, they did some initial testing with those targets, and some other targets as well, like retroreflective targets. And the intent is to move towards a standard for lidar testing. And with Labsphere being involved, if any of the lidar manufacturers here want to get involved in that development, they can contact us and we can get them involved in that process. Benchmarking project, we provided all of the Permaflect targets, right? So this is actually, over the last 3 or 4 years since we've been involved in AutoSens and also in this market, our Permaflect targets, which are calibrated different shades of different reflective shades and calibrated, they've kind of become the de facto target for lidar calibration. And what we did is we donated 37 targets for this comparative testing, and also donated a couple of people to help set those up. I guess I could point to 3 different things for that particular question. First of all, when we came to AutoSens 3-4 years ago, a lot of the targets they were providing to the customers or the manufacturers were really for R&D use. And we found over the last couple of years that we're starting to now get inquiries for large quantities of the targets, which is an indication that the lidar manufacturers are moving to production, and also for big test facilities too. So there's been a gradual move from our R&D involvement into production involvement, which is really nice. I would say the second thing is patterned targets. Typically, the targets we've been providing to the market are one shade, whether it be 5%, 10%, 50%. And we're starting to get a lot of inquiries for patterns, contrast targets, step targets, things like that, which we've done on a custom basis for customers, but now we're looking at commonalities and looking for efficiencies in the manufacturing process of that to be able to standardize on pattern targets. And so that's something that's becoming more common. And thirdly, I would say high-speed lidar measurement. So Labsphere is a light measurement company. We've had laser power measurements in the market for years. LiDAR is very, very, very high speed, 250 kilohertz, for example, and which is a very challenging measurement to make. We're working with a couple of the manufacturers on custom systems to be able to measure that type of speed of LiDAR. And that's hopefully something, as we get more inquiries, that we move towards standardizing as well.
Right.
Yeah, actually, in the booth you'll see, well, people that come to the show are probably familiar with our tunable LED sources. These are uniform sources which use many LEDs, and you can tune them for color. And it's been a successful product, but because of that, we've also had a pull for the market for a very simplified uniform source, portable, and I hate to say it, less expensive, but not as many capabilities with it. And so what we did is we produced, which you can see in the booth here, a very simplified uniform source, which is portable, it's battery powered, very high dynamic range, and it's a luminance source, so it's not tunable relative to color. But for a university that want to share something around different labs for students to use, or even to use in the field portably, this is a really nice uniform source. And again, you can see that in our booth here. because of our involvement in this market, because of coming to AutoSens, we've become very well known as the test and measurement company for lidar and ADAS, and we're one of very few. And so coming here, you get to meet all of your customers. You obviously get to make new opportunities too, but these are people that we interact with, continually. So we can come here, meet them face to face, which is nice, especially given the last 2 years, but also learn about the new technologies and the new developments in the market, so we can stay in line with those developments in terms of the product that we're developing. And the venue itself is great. You can probably see through the camera all the cars and whatnot. So it's a wonderful event, and I'm sure it will continue to come. We have to be a part of it. We have to be in front of it, and people need to see that we still exist and we're still involved.